Welcome to Betrayed Bloodlines. It happened on my birthday, the kind of afternoon that smells like coffee, frosting, and secrets. My mom leaned toward my brother, her smile frozen for the photos. Then I heard it, soft, clipped, deliberate. While everyone's here, go and change. He nodded once, the way soldiers nod before orders they don't understand, and walked out of the café without a word. For a second, I thought I misheard. Maybe she meant change clothes. Maybe she meant change the playlist. But Mom's eyes, they didn't follow him like a mother's. They followed him like a commander watching her plan unfold. I'm Alina Graves, 30 years old today, and if you think this story ends with candles and laughter, you haven't met my family. The cafe was packed. Warm light, friends from work, a birthday cake I'd baked myself, because Mom said store-bought looks desperate, everyone laughing, pretending we were normal. Even my brother Noah before he vanished with that whisper, Dad clinking his glass. Mom pretending she didn't just send someone on a mission. I kept replaying it in my head. Go and change. Change what? When Noah returned almost an hour later, his face looked bleached, like someone had drained the color out of him. He leaned close to Mom and whispered something. Her hand froze midair, fork dangling. Whatever he said, it landed harder than the thunder outside. Then he looked at me. And that's when I realized, whatever had changed, it wasn't clothes. Mom stood abruptly, covering the panic with a toast. To family, she said. Her voice trembled like a bad violin. To fresh starts, everyone clapped. But I could feel it. This invisible wire running between her, Noah, and me. Tight, ready to snap. When the dinner ended, I followed Noah outside. The night smelled like rain and espresso. Noah, I called. What was that about? He didn't meet my eyes. You should go home, Alina. What did Mom tell you to change? He hesitated, his jaw tight. You'll find out soon enough. And then he got into his car and left. I stood there, holding the birthday flowers he'd given me. White lilies, my least favorite. He knew that. Mom's favorite. When I got home, the door to my apartment was already unlocked. I froze. The lights were off, but the air felt disturbed, like someone had walked through and rearranged the molecules. I called out. No answer. Every instinct screamed to leave, but curiosity beat fear. I stepped inside. Everything looked untouched, except the photo frame on my mantle. The one of me, Dad, and Mom at my graduation. The glass was cracked straight through my face. Then my phone buzzed. Unknown number. Miss Graves, this is Officer Daniels from the Seattle Police Department. Please contact us regarding your property at 428 Maple Street. My stomach flipped. 428 Maple wasn't my address. It was my mom's. I called instantly. Officer, what's going on? He hesitated. There's been an incident at the Maple property. We'll need you and your mother to come down to the station in the morning. Incident? I repeated, but the line had already gone dead. I stared at the phone, heartbeat loud enough to drown the rain. Maple Street? The old family house we'd moved out of years ago. The one Mom swore she'd sold. I called Noah, no answer. I called Mom, straight to voicemail. Just static and her recorded voice saying, if it's urgent, leave it. So I did. Mom, what did you do? That night I didn't sleep. I kept seeing her whisper across the cafe table. Go and change. Change what, Mom? The locks? The truth? Me? By morning, I was already driving through the drizzle toward Maple Street. The neighborhood looked the same, quiet, manicured, polite. But as soon as I turned the corner, I saw them. 2 patrol cars, lights flashing against the gray dawn. Police tape wrapped around the old house like a yellow ribbon on a coffin. An officer approached. Ma'am, this area is restricted. I'm Alina Graves, I said quickly. My family owns this property. He checked his notes, then frowned. Correction, your mother owns this property. You haven't lived here in 7 years? No, but what happened? He lowered his voice. We received a call about a disturbance early this morning. Door was open. Looks like a forced entry. A forced entry. Again. The second one in 12 hours, he continued. We found something inside you'll want to see. The air thickened. He led me through the gate, past the rose bushes Mom used to prune into perfect shapes. Now they were wild, overgrown, thorns everywhere. Inside, The house smelled like dust and lemon polish. Every light was on, buzzing faintly. On the kitchen table lay a single object. A small, folded note beside a cup of cold coffee. "Alina, stop digging. Some things aren't meant to be changed." Mai stared at it, my pulse crashing in my ears. M wasn't Mom's first initial. Her name is Evelyn. The officer cleared his throat. "Do you know who might have left this?" I shook my head, though my mind raced through every possibility. M for Mom, maybe. Or something else. Someone else. Then my phone buzzed again. No caller ID. This time a voice. "You shouldn't have gone home last night." Click. Silence. I looked at the officer. Someone's watching me. He started to ask something, but I was already backing away. Because through the kitchen window, across the street, I saw a silhouette, a figure standing perfectly still under an umbrella, watching the house. When I blinked, they were gone. And for the first time in my life, I realized my mother's whispers weren't about control. They were about containment. Something had been set in motion long before my birthday. And whatever it was, it had finally changed. I didn't sleep that night. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw that note on the table. Some things aren't meant to be changed. And that single initial, M. By morning, the words were carved into my brain. Mom's number still went straight to voicemail. Noah's phone was off. The only person I could reach was Officer Daniels, the one from last night. He met me at a diner off 3rd Avenue. Rain hammered the windows, turning the city into a watercolor. He looked exhausted, eyes rimmed in red. "Ms. Graves," he said, sliding a file across the table. "You need to see this." Inside were property records, but not the kind I expected. The Maple Street house wasn't sold. It wasn't even listed. It had been quietly transferred 3 years ago. To me, I blinked. "That's impossible. I never signed anything." He tapped the signature line. Someone did. The signature was perfect. My handwriting. But I didn't sign it. "Why would my mother transfer the house to me?" I asked. He hesitated. "Maybe to protect it from scrutiny. Maybe for taxes." He leaned in closer. "Or maybe because something happened in that house she didn't want tied to her name." His words dropped like stones. "Something like what?" He opened another photo. It was the living room, same room I'd stood in last night. But this time, circled in red, was a small burn mark on the floor near the fireplace. Dark, irregular. "Chemical residue," he said quietly. "Like something was burned there recently." I stared at the picture. "What was it?" He shook his head. "We're still running tests." Outside, thunder rolled again. Funny how storms seemed to follow my mother's name. When I finally left the diner, my phone lit up. One new voicemail. Unknown number. The voice was low, deliberate, male. "You're looking in the wrong place, Alina. Check the attic." The attic. Of course. The one place Mom had always kept locked. I drove back to Maple Street before logic could stop me. The police tape was gone now. The cars cleared out. The house sat silent, pretending it didn't just whisper my name through static. Inside, the floorboards groaned under my steps. Every creak echoed too long, like the house remembered me. The pull-down ladder to the attic still hung half open from last night's search. I climbed slowly. The air up there was thick, hot, dust floating like secrets in sunlight. Boxes stacked high, labeled in Mom's precise handwriting. Tax, bills, family photos. But one box sat apart. No label. Just a strip of duct tape with the word change. My chest tightened. Her whisper replayed in my head. "While everyone's here, go and change." That wasn't a command. It was a clue. I cut the tape, peeled the box open. Inside were photos. Hundreds of them. Me, Noah, Mom, Dad. But in each one, something was off. The backgrounds were wrong. The dates were wrong. In one, I was a toddler, but standing in front of a house we didn't move into until I was 10. In another, Mom looked older than she should have, like time itself had been rearranged. Beneath the photos was a stack of old letters, all addressed to Margaret Hale. M. Hale, not Evelyn Graves, my mother's real name. My throat went dry. I whispered it out loud. "Monsieur Hale." The same initial from the note. A faint creak made me freeze. Someone else was in the house. I turned off my flashlight, listened. Another step. Closer. Then, "Alina?" Noah's voice. He climbed the ladder, his face pale, breath uneven. "What are you doing here?" I hissed. "I could ask you the same thing," he shot back. "You shouldn't be here. You told me that yesterday. Didn't work." He looked around the attic, then saw the open box. His face drained. "You weren't supposed to find that." "What is this, Noah? Who is Margaret Hale?" He rubbed his temples. "It's complicated." "Uncomplicated." He sank to the floor, hands shaking. "Mom changed her name 20 years ago, after something happened." "What happened?" He looked up at me, eyes wet. "A fire in this house, the night before we moved." I stared at the burn mark photo in my mind. "That burn in the living room?" He nodded. "Yeah, but it wasn't an accident." He stood pacing. "There was a man, her business partner. He found out something about Dad's company, about money being funneled offshore. He came here that night. There was a fight. Mom said it was self-defense, but the police never found the body." I felt my knees go weak. "Are you saying Mom killed someone?" He didn't answer. Just looked at me with that same helpless expression he had at the café. "She made me help her. That's what she meant by go and change. Change the story. Change the paperwork. Change the name." My mind spun. "So the house was supposed to stay forgotten." He stepped closer. "Alina, please, don't dig this up again. If people find out, I cut him off. They'll find out Mom's a murderer." He grabbed my wrist. "No, they'll find out you're not who you think you are." The words hit harder than a scream. "What are you talking about?" Noah's lips trembled. "You were never supposed to know. You're not adopted, but your birth certificate isn't real. Mom." She made sure everything tied back to her new identity. "Margaret Hale became Evelyn Graves, and you—" My phone buzzed before he could finish. A text from an unknown number. "Don't believe him. Basement. Now." I looked at Noah. "Did you send this?" He shook his head slowly. And that's when I heard it. From below us. A single door slam. We weren't alone. Noah and I froze. The sound came from below. One sharp slam that echoed up through the floorboards like a heartbeat. I turned toward the attic steps. "Who else has keys to this house?" Noah shook his head. "No one. Mom changed all the locks years ago." His words hit differently now. "Change the locks." That whisper again. "While everyone's here, go and change. Not just the locks. The story, the evidence, the past." I pulled out my phone, flashlight trembling in my hand. "Alina," Noah hissed. "Don't go down there." "I'm not staying up here," I said. "Whatever's in this house, it's not leaving again without answers." The hallway stretched out long and dark. Every picture frame on the wall had been turned face down, just like the ones in my apartment last night. Someone was sending a message. "Erase the faces. Erase the truth." The basement door stood half open at the end of the hall. Cold air drifted up, carrying the smell of dust and metal. I hesitated. Then a voice floated up, low and familiar. "Alina." My name spoken like a warning. It wasn't Noah, and it wasn't my imagination. I flicked the light switch, but the bulb just buzzed and died. "Stay here," I whispered to Noah. "Like hell I will," he said, following me down. The steps creaked under our feet. At the bottom, a faint glow flickered from an old desk lamp. Stacks of boxes lined the walls, the kind people fill when they're about to disappear. On the work table sat another note. Typed, not handwritten. "If you found the attic, you're already too late." Noah exhaled shakily. "This isn't Mom's writing." I stared at the table. "Then who—" Something caught my eye. A stack of files, stamped with an old company logo. Graves and Hale Industries, Dad's old firm. The one Mom swore was dissolved decades ago. Inside each folder were documents, payment receipts, and one phrase repeated in the memo lines, Project CHANGE. My breath caught. The word again, change. "What is this?" I whispered. Noah shook his head. "I don't know. I've never seen this before." But he had. I could tell by his eyes. That flicker of guilt that only truth creates. I flipped through the pages anyway. Formulas, coordinates, encrypted names, and a letter at the bottom signed M. Hale. The letter read, "If something happens to me, the records must be erased. The children can't know who they are. Everything depends on the change. My heart pounded so hard it hurt. The children, I said. She meant us. Noah backed away. Stop reading this, Alina, please. Why? I snapped. Because Mom said so? Because you helped her bury it? He didn't answer. That's when my phone buzzed again. A new text. You're getting closer. Look under the desk. I knelt, shining the light into the shadows. Something metallic glinted back. A small lockbox screwed to the underside of the desk. Noah crouched beside me. It's sealed. I tugged at it anyway. Hand me that screwdriver. The metal gave way with a soft click. Inside the box was a single envelope. The name on it stopped my heart. To Alina Graves on your 30th birthday, I whispered. She planned this. Noah's voice cracked. Don't open it. But I already had. Inside was a letter, my mother's handwriting this time. Unmistakable, elegant, cruelly neat. Alina, if you're reading this, the story I built is falling apart. I did what I had to do to protect you from the truth. Your birth wasn't a mistake, but it wasn't an accident either. The project your father and I created was meant to correct what we did wrong years ago. You and Noah were both part of it. You were supposed to be the proof that everything could be changed. Names, histories, identities. But something went wrong. I couldn't control what you remembered. That's why you needed to forget. That's why the house had to stay closed. Don't dig further, for your own sake. Mom, I read it twice, the words blurring. Proof that everything could be changed. Noah leaned against the wall, shaking. She never meant for you to find that. She said if you ever did, everything would unravel. I laughed bitterly. Then let it unravel. Suddenly we heard footsteps again. Soft, deliberate, from upstairs this time. Someone moving through the hallway. Noah whispered. It's her. I looked at him sharply. Mom? He nodded. She's been staying here for weeks. Said it was safer than home. Said the past was watching us. The basement door creaked open at the top of the stairs. Light poured down, and a shadow fell across us. And then her voice, calm, careful, familiar as a lullaby. You should have stayed at the café, Alina. I turned slowly. There she was. My mother, immaculate as ever, standing on the steps with an umbrella in one hand, and something in her eyes I'd never seen before. Fear. She stepped down one stair, then another. Everything I did, she said, voice trembling, was to protect you. You don't understand what you've inherited. My throat was dry. Then tell me. She glanced at the open box on the table. You already know, she whispered. The past doesn't die, Alina. It just changes its name. Mom stood at the foot of the stairs, rainwater sliding from her umbrella, a single drop landing on the concrete and echoing like a clock tick. I'd seen her angry. I'd seen her pretending to be kind, but I'd never seen her frightened. Noah, she said quietly. Why did you bring her here? He swallowed hard. She followed the clues, Mom. She deserved to know. She shook her head. Deserve? You think any of us deserve this? The room felt smaller, air thick with old dust and things unsaid. Project change, I said, my voice steady but shaking inside. What is it? Mom's eyes darted to the files on the desk, then back to me. An idea that went too far. Your father and I built it for people who wanted to start over, legally, completely. New names, new histories. It was supposed to be a lifeline for people in danger. But the investors, they twisted it. They wanted to sell identities, to erase debts, records, entire lives, my pulse hammered. So you and Dad helped criminals vanish? She flinched. At first it wasn't like that. Then someone found out, Thomas Hale, my partner. He threatened to expose us. Your father panicked. I hid what we'd built, and we walked away. That's why we changed our names. Why this house stayed locked. Her voice cracked on the last word. Noah stepped forward. You told me you were protecting Alina. I was, Mom whispered. She's the only one whose identity we couldn't erase. She was born after the project ended, under the wrong name with the wrong papers. Every system still thinks she's the experiment that worked. The floor seemed to tilt beneath me. So, my whole life, my job, my driver's license, every record of me is built on a fake identity? Mom nodded once. A perfect one. You were meant to be proof that it could be done cleanly, that people could start again without consequence. I stared at her. Then why the letters? Why the lies? Because people found out the proof survived, she said. Someone out there still wants you, Alina. That's who's been sending the notes. That's who was outside the house. The memory of the shadow in the rain flashed through me. You mean M wasn't you? She shook her head. Margaret Hale died years ago. Someone took her name, maybe one of the investors, maybe the ones who never forgave me for shutting the project down. Lightning flickered outside, cutting her face into light and shadow. I pressed my palms against the desk, breathing hard. Then why not tell me? Why build an entire life on a lie? Her answer was a whisper. Because I wanted you to have one. A clean one. You can't imagine what it's like living every day wondering which version of you will be discovered. The silence that followed hurt more than words. Finally, Noah spoke. What do we do now? Mom looked at him, then at me. You run. You both take new names and start over again. I still have contacts who owe me favors. I laughed. A short, broken sound. You still think running fixes things? That's what got us here. She stepped closer. Then what will you do, Alina? March into the police station and explain that you're a living glitch in the government database? That your birth certificate is a lie built by your parents? They'll bury you in paperwork before they ever believe you. For a moment, I almost agreed with her. Almost. Then I remembered the years she'd rewritten for me, the birthdays that were more strategy meetings than celebrations. No, I said softly. I'm not running. Not again. I'm going to expose the project. All of it. Her eyes widened. You'll destroy everything. Maybe, I said, but at least it'll be true. Something inside her broke then. The commanding tone slipped, leaving just a woman who'd spent decades hiding from her own invention. Alina, she said quietly, truth doesn't set people free. It just changes their cages. I met her gaze. Then I'll choose mine. The rain outside slowed to a steady whisper, like applause fading. Mom straightened, her old precision returning. If you're serious, there's a drive hidden behind the fireplace. It has everything. Names, accounts, transfers. If you take it public, it's over. I frowned. Why are you giving this to me? Because the people who built Project Change already know you're awake, she said. If anyone can survive that, it's you. Noah looked between us, panic in his eyes. Mom, she cut him off gently. I'm tired of changing, Noah. Then she handed me the smallest key I'd ever seen. Brass, warm from her palm. Do what you came here to do, she said. Just don't look back. I took it, the metal cold against my skin. Above us, thunder rolled one last time, shaking the windows. And for the first time in my life, Mom didn't flinch. I didn't sleep that night. The key Mom gave me sat on the table, gleaming under the kitchen light like it was waiting for a verdict. Every tick of the clock sounded like another lie I hadn't faced yet. Noah paced behind me. You really think it's worth it? I think hiding cost us everything, I said. If the truth burns it all down, maybe that's the point. By dawn, the rain had stopped. The city looked rinsed, like even it wanted a clean start. I slid the key into the hidden slot behind the fireplace. A faint click, a hidden drawer. Inside, a small flash drive sealed in glass, labeled Project Change Master Archive. My breath caught. This was it. Everything Mom and Dad had buried. I turned the drive over in my hand. Once this leaves this house, I whispered, we can't go back. Noah nodded. Then let's make sure it's worth it. At the café where all of this started, where balloons once hung, and my mother's whisper had set everything in motion, I opened my laptop. Same table, same corner, different girl. I plugged in the drive. Files opened like old ghosts waking up, hundreds of names. Bank records, photographs of people who'd vanished, people who'd bought new identities and walked away from their old lives. A digital graveyard of erased souls. I hit select all. My finger hovered over upload. Then my phone buzzed. A message from an unknown number. Stop. We can still fix this. No signature, just those 6 words. My pulse thundered. I looked up. Outside the window, a black sedan sat idling at the curb. Noah leaned close. "Alina, don't freeze now," I exhaled. "I'm done freezing." Click. Upload started. The progress bar crawled upward. 1%. 7%. 12. The cafe lights flickered. The barista frowned toward the window. Noah whispered, "Someone's cutting the signal." I hit the hotspot on my phone, rerouting the upload. The bar jumped to 56%. The sedan door opened. A man stepped out in a dark coat, scanning the room. "Almost there," I said. My voice trembled, but I didn't stop. In percent, so 97. 100, upload complete. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the cafe TV, muted but flashing, switched to a breaking news banner. Project Change exposed. Underground identity network leaked to federal investigators. The man outside froze, phone to his ear. Then quietly, he got back in the car and drove away. Noah laughed under his breath, half disbelief, half relief. "You actually did it." I stared at the screen. "No, we did." That night I stood on the balcony of my apartment, city lights flickering like 1,000 open eyes. Below, sirens wailed somewhere distant. Not in fear, but in movement, in change. My phone buzzed again. This time the message was from Mom. I saw the news. "You finished what we couldn't. Be careful who thanks you." No threat. No manipulation. Just truth, stripped bare. I typed back only one line. "For once, I'm not scared." 2 months later, hearings began. Project Change was dismantled. My parents' names appeared in every headline. But so did mine. The whistleblower who ended a legacy of lies. I thought it would feel like victory. It didn't. It felt like silence. The good kind. Noah found a small apartment uptown, started painting again. I kept my job under my real name, the one Mom had forged, but that now belonged to me by choice. Some nights, I still dream of that cafe, the whisper that began it all. "While everyone's here, go and change." I finally understand what she meant. Change wasn't about running, it was about becoming. One morning, as sunlight spilled through the window, Noah called from the kitchen. "Coffee's ready." I smiled, closing my laptop, the same one that had carried the truth into the world. For the first time, I didn't need secrets to feel alive. I opened the window. The breeze smelled like rain and new beginnings. "Happy birthday," I whispered to myself. This time no one told me to change, because I already had.